Welcome, Nicole. We're so happy to have you as a part of Network in Action. Would you mind introducing yourself?
Yeah, thank you so much. My name is Nicole Kurtz. I am the owner of Educate Digital. I am a brand marketer and a business growth specialist.
Awesome. Tell me a little bit about what brand marketing and business development, what all of that means.
Yeah. Your story is your brand voice, and marketing makes it sing. And I'm here to help you share that story. Everybody has a story of why they got into business. There's some pain point they were solving, or they didn't want to be an employee anymore. And at a certain point, you're really good at this service. But then at a certain point, that doesn't necessarily make you a good business owner, and you kind of need to solidify some of those processes. And it's okay to not be an expert in everything. So I kind of help in terms of the business growth side. I help you solidify those processes so that you can scale sustainably and with confidence.
I love that so much. Business ownership and business development can be such an isolating experience sometimes,
Yeah,
feeling like you're on this boat alone trying to figure it out. So having a partner with you to walk you through that process and make it seem a little less overwhelming,
absolutely.
that's so important. I love that
Yeah,
so much. Great.
I
That's
love
awesome.
that. I love the that transformation from like I can't do this to holy cow, I can do this. That's what I really love.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. So tell me, how long have you been in this industry?
Yeah, so I have a BFA in medical illustration. My first job out of college was working with lawyers to create visuals for the courtroom to explain the case to the jury. So I would look at accident reconstruction reports and medical records and super dense like financial reports, um, and tie that to the story that the lawyer wanted to get across to explain it to a jury that might only have a fifth grade level of education. So my role was really trying to figure out the best way to use storytelling to not gross out the jury, but still get the main points that the lawyer wanted to get across. So super fascinating work, but I'm not a 9 to 5 person. So I have this pattern where I would work in an office for 2 years or so, get super bored and quit to go do an artist in residency where I would design museum exhibits or something. Realize I can't live on $5 an hour, and then go back to an office job. And that cycle just kind of repeated for 15 years or so. All of my office jobs were like graphic design or marketing or outreach education. So along the way, I kind of picked up all these tools. My last role was as a digital marketing specialist for a healthcare agency, and we would acquire all of these smaller clinics. The providers would provide therapy for children on the autism spectrum. And so my role was really to help those new acquisitions get into our processes. So get them out of their social media platforms, get them shut down their website and get them onto our website and kind of create all that process. And then also the internal communications for their patients to help them understand that this is really just a rebrand. All of the other people are staying the same, and making sure that communication was consistent. But in that process, I just saw how many small business owners were wasting so much money on marketing. And if they just knew a couple of questions to ask, it would have solved so much. So I really started my business to try to fix that because it just like killed my soul.
It sounds like all roads have led you to this point.
Yeah,
That's really cool. I love that. Sounds
yeah,
like I bet you have some interesting stories to tell
for sure. Yeah.
as well. Yeah. Awesome. Well, tell me, what do you feel like separates your company from the competition?
Yeah. So I started my business because I noticed this communication and a knowledge gap. So from the business owner's perspective, they are leaning on marketing agencies to be the expert in marketing. You would think that's what it was. So they're looking for that agency to provide insight or knowledge or expertise in some way. But unfortunately, that's not really the marketer's role all the time. The marketing agency gets a client that wants a website, they're going to make you a website and not really dig that deep into it. And so if you don't really have a solid understanding of your brand, your target audience, what a quality lead looks like, what that customer journey is, you probably shouldn't be communicating with an agency just yet because they're not going to help you figure that out. That's your role as the business owner. They're not going to help you develop your vision. But at Educate Digital, we kind of understand that you don't know what you don't know. So I help you take a step back and answer those strategic questions first. And then we can figure out what specific marketing activities will best support that goal. And ultimately, it's all just about helping you scale sustainably, helping you feel confident about your marketing spend, and really just finding ways to hold it accountable with data. So we're part growth coach, part brand marketer. We're committed to your success because we deeply understand your pain points to provide that custom tailored solution.
I love that, and such a better place to start from to really kind of go back to the roots, make sure that you've got a solid foundation, and then build something that makes sense for the individual client. I love that. That's really, really great. Do you have a favorite customer story that you'd like to share?
Yeah. I again, like I said, I really enjoy that flipping the perspective for clients, just helping them see things in a different angle. I think by the time I start working with clients, they've kind of already been at it for a few years. They have not had great experiences with marketing. They know something isn't working, but they don't really see a way to let go of control. And I think it's also in our nature to focus on negative. And so I'm really, a lot of my clients, I'm hearing quite a bit of, I keep doing it this way. I know it's not working, but I don't even have time to think about how to fix it. And so usually at that point, I kind of cut them off and say, well, let's talk about your greatest accomplishment in the last 6 months, or what does success look like for you? And it helps them kind of get out of that doom and gloom mode and into like, let's think about positive vision for the future. So I had one client who was desperate. They needed an assistant. They were at capacity. They were working around the clock, no vacation. If they were on vacation, it was, with their laptop and their phones, and they were miserable. But they couldn't articulate everything they did in a day in order to separate that out for a job description to hire an assistant. So I had a 40-minute meeting with them where I brought a stack of Post-it notes, and we walked through every task they did from the minute they start working until a client signs and beyond. And I would write furiously as they kind of let out this stream of consciousness. And once they kind of exhausted themselves, I took a few minutes and just kind of reorganized it within the structure of a sales process. So I turned that tornado into something that kind of made sense. And I in that process, identified the tasks, identified the friction points, identified how much we could automate as much as possible, showed them how strategic marketing pieces can benefit this goal. And really just helping them understand that if they want to grow, they need to start saying no and prioritizing their time for when it really matters. So what started as 100 tasks turned into 20 that could be automated, 75 that was the job description, and 5 were left over for the owner. So again, it went from like, this is such a mess to, holy cow, I can do this.
That's awesome. What a freeing feeling. And I know what it's like to have it all just garbled up in your head, that it's just hard to even get out, and having somebody be able to help pull that out and then organize it is just so important.
Yeah, I hear a lot that I'm an idea interpreter, and the people are kind of sit back and they're impressed with like, how could you make sense of this mess? Like it's not hard for me.
That's great. I love that. That's awesome. Awesome. Well, for our people who want to get in touch with you, what's the best way to reach out to you?
Yeah, LinkedIn, I'm on all the time. My website also, an email or the NIA portal would be the best ways. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, it was so nice to get to know you a little bit more today. I look forward to getting to know you more in the future, and I hope you have a great day.
Absolutely. Yeah. Thanks so much.